Welcome everyone to The Roots of America, where I explore the core principles of industrial organizational psychology and its impact on the backbone of our nation. That's small businesses. I'm your host, Daniel Fournier, and today I'm thrilled to welcome Kendall Ayala from Citiscapes. We're going to discuss why small businesses like Citiscapes are the true heart of America.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. The first question I have is one that a lot of people are going to have for small business owners. That's you've chosen the path of a small business owner.
Correct.
Over working for corporate America. Why make that choice?
I think it was definitely for a long-term personal financial plan, as well as the opportunity to grow something beyond myself. And more than just that stereotype, is definitely provide a very strong financial future for myself and my kids. I noticed one of the biggest things is, when you're growing a business, you're growing an asset beyond just, hey, I'm working at a 9 to 5, or my 40-hour work week, that's done. I am creating something that is going to last the test of time. So more so looking for a consistency that will allow me to build an asset that, let's say something happens to me, is still there making me money.
Indeed. Yes. And so a lot of these questions that I'm going to give to you and pose to you are going to be derived from the industrial organizational psychology perspective. And so in the world of IO psychology, there's a big importance or emphasis on the meaningful interpersonal relationships. And it seems that that's one of the focal points of Citiscapes.
Absolutely. We definitely drive for a strong community. If you don't have that community built inside your company, where are you going to go from there? I truly believe that, as we grow up and grow through each stage of business, if we can continue to have that sense of community, our long-term goal and effect on the community itself, our community, Surprise, Phoenix, Arizona, is going to be a lot stronger and better than if we just try to build it one person at a time. Bringing a community together, bringing the community inside the business together will affect more than just ourselves.
Indeed. So on that, what does Citiscapes do? And what experience is it that you want your customers to have by the service that you provide?
Great question. So we're a landscape install and remodel company. So we handle everything from barbecues, fire pits, etc. Anything that you could want in your landscape, we can handle, but a pool. So as far as the actual hardscape and landscaping, that's what we cover. Now, our goal is to definitely bring our clients somewhere in their backyard that they can enjoy and utilize on a day-to-day basis, as well as improving the value on their home. I guess there's all this talk of, the stereotypical, I want to change the community. I want everybody to do all this. More than just that is we're trying to increase property values and show them a monetary reason to do this.
That's fair.
Because as a driving force, both you and I, we're looking to make money. So are our clients. And they want something that whenever I come in to do their yard, they want something they can enjoy, but as well as adds value to their home. And that's where we come in very strong. We give them a product that they can go out into the yard on a day-to-day basis and enjoy and utilize.
It's an escape away. Imagine you have a blank canvas. There's nothing there. Well, what kind of escape is that?
Right.
So
many of our clients get extremely involved on the design process. We go over what are their goals, what are they going to be utilizing the landscape for, what do they want to make happen, do they entertain a lot, are they just looking for a very calm, relaxing place, Are they looking for something that's more utilitarian for the dogs or for the kiddos? Or is he going to park a boat back there? Is the customer going to park a boat back there? You know, so we look at all those things, and once we go over those, you know, what are we going to be utilizing the yard for, and what do we want out of our landscape? Then we go over and we put a design together that mimics what they want. So bringing the piece of them into the landscape is very important, and the end result is where you see they're so happy and thrilled because they got what they were wanting, because they were a part of that design process.
Exactly. So you're talking about the design process.
Yes.
How much of the design is the customer involved in?
Frankly, all the way through. We start at just talking. What are you using the yard for? Then we go to what kind of designs do you like? We show the client some photos, say what's your kind of design aspect? Everybody's got a little different. You know, some people may want very, very modern, whereas others want very, you know, laid back, more soft curves, Southwestern. And we take all those ideas, bring it together, and I go and I'll make a design for them. And once I bring the design over to them based off what they've told me they liked and where they wanted X, Y, and Z, you know, where they wanted the paver pad, where they wanted the trampoline for the kids, I create a design. When I bring it back to them, they let me know, hey, let's change this, let's change that. And we'll go through a process of making changes, which typically takes about a week or so. After that, once I get the approval, we create a bid for them and hopefully get to do the job, you know.
Indeed. And that's, there's this thing in Iowa psychology, it's called the person environmental fit, where the higher the match is between the environment and the person, the higher the satisfaction and the greater connection a person feels with that environment and ultimately with the community as well. And basically what you're doing too is you're creating these connections where the people feel more connected with their own land, and Citiscapes is seems to be creating this, will be known to create that connection. It's not just a transactional business. It's it's a business that creates meaningful connections between the people in their land and then the people in the business.
Correct. Our goal is to come in and create something for them that they envisioned and that they wanted. We're not a cookie cutter company. We don't come in and say, hey, we're going to give you 150 square feet of turf, this border for X amount of dollars. Every single yard is different. We have never done two homes the same. So every yard specifically targets that person and their wants and needs. And that way they can go out and enjoy it and find the relaxing place. You know, in many cases, the landscape is where they go to relax. So on the psychology side of it, you know, so many times we look at this and I'm a very straightforward guy, very material, and you don't pay attention too much to the psychology of it. And when you step back and realize, you know, they're doing something where they can go and relax, you know, wherever that place is for them, we're able to help create that for them. So many times you see it as more of a relaxing place than entertaining. We do get a lot of people that entertain out of their backyard, but many times it's, hey, I want to have a spot over here that I can just go relax and watch the sunset, you know?
No, it's definitely something that is, you know, to have that escape, to have that spot where you can relax. You know, life is chaotic enough.
Absolutely.
We need that in our lives. And so this individualized architecture that the business creates for each individual customer, would you say that that's something that helps separate you from, you know, the so-called cookie cutter large business or other corporation, you know, landscape install companies?
Absolutely. That's one of the very big things it does is very individualized installs. The other thing that I would say completely separates us up is the amount of involvement from myself being the business owner as well as our crew of leaders. The involvement from the start process to the finish, we're highly involved with the client. Communication is key. so many times, especially in the install and the construction industry. People around the valley, one of the biggest complaints is, hey, my guy never showed up. They came here and just never showed up. Or they came, sold us the job, never showed up, took our deposit, and so on. And when we can bring forward communication throughout the entire process from start to finish, that's the biggest thing. That's another thing. As far as a process that we have from start to finish, the biggest thing that we can provide is communication, because the client wants to know what's going on, just like you would, you know. If I've got somebody in my house and they're doing work on my house, I want to know, hey, what time are you going to be there? What time are you leaving? And how long is this going to take you? How many companies can you get to actually give you that? There's so few. And so that process becomes another emotional strain. You know, if I'm sitting in my office and I'm worried about where's this guy at, what's he doing at my house, what's going on, my capabilities at the workplace are going to be much diminished. So not only is it affecting your lifestyle at home, it's also affecting the workplace, where when we can provide constant communication, the ease on everybody's mind, the psychological aspect of it, they're not having to worry about that. They go sit down in their office knowing that they're in good hands. It's getting handled, it's getting taken care of. We're at a client's house right now. His name is Bob. And Bob, one of the things he said about our entire process, he's like, the amount of communication you guys give, you call me in the morning, you call me in the evening, we get to see your face at least once a day, all the way through the process. He's thrilled because he owns a company, he owns a glass company, and he's like, I'm running several crews myself. He's like, and the fact that you're just here and you show up, you're not here the entire day, but you show up and make sure everything's going well. He's like, I'm able to sit down and run my company without worrying what's going on in my house and knowing that it's going to be done right. So.
And that's good. That's nice. So just to switch gears a little bit here real quick, you know, we're talking a lot about the customer and business relationship and all of the communication that you guys have between all of your customers, and you know, how customers thoroughly enjoy the communication, right? But what about the rest of the business? You know, as you build this impactful small business, how are you ensuring that your team grows along with it, and that the vision that you have for the business remains the same, remains, you know, for a lack of a better term, vibrant?
Right. So starting with, you know, you've got to build a environment that people can succeed. So to get the customer a good product, you need to make sure that, number one, is the owner, is he in a good mindset? You know, is the person in charge, is he coming to the workplace frustrated, angry, mad, upset, tired, sad, or is he coming, hey, let's do this? That's the first thing, is I got to make sure every day that I'm coming in and I look like I'm 100%, even if inside it's a messy situation inside. Yeah. No matter what my emotions are, no matter what I feel, I'm coming in, everything's 100%. My guys see that, my office sees that. Number two is and as a small business growing, you start to learn a lot more about, hey, how am I going to help my people succeed? And incentives are what makes everybody go. Why would I work for 40 hours and get paid $1,000, but then I come in and I work for 80 hours and I produce so much more, but I only get a little bit of overtime? You know, what good is that? Especially when you're salary, you know, a lot of high-end people are salaried. And what makes them push past that 40-hour mark? Well, if they got something they're working towards and they're working for, all my guys are paid commission-based. So the work that they do is what they get paid for. So the more they produce, the better they get paid. So on my crew side, definitely looking as a standard from the people out actually doing the work, my guys doing the work, they need to have something that they can work for. They're not just out here getting paid $30 an hour and going home. They come out, they provide a really great quality product, and they get paid well for it. The more they produce, the more they get paid, the better quality the product is, the better they do. If they don't do the right quality product, they have to go out and repair it on their time. That costs them money. So we've seen our quality go up probably 100 times. Instead of doing repairs every other week, we never do repairs now. So the quality of the product's there. As far as my crew being incentivized, on the crew side, that's where we see most of the connection, is having a great leader, somebody who comes in pumped and can give them incentives to grow. On the office side, that's probably where, in the customer service, in our office, that's where things get a little more difficult, because you see, as general, throughout corporate America, throughout America, that's probably the most mentally draining side of things, because you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with bosses, you're looking at numbers, you're seeing all these factors that go in together that you would have never thought, So working with some of our employees that have worked at big companies, many of them at doctors' offices, etc., we see a huge change in environment that actually stresses people out, because you come into a small company and there's a lot of things that you didn't see. Most of those folks didn't see the money getting passed through the bills. Whereas in a small company, you see a lot of that. You see the ups, you see the downs. You see the times that you're negative, and you see the times that you're positive. So, day one, I could be negative $5,000. Day two, I could be positive $300,000. It really is such an upswing and downswing because of cash flow. You're cash flowing your projects, and that's a huge stress that's put on folks. So maintaining a positive attitude in that environment as a leader is extremely key, especially when you come in and they're like, what in the world's going on? Why is it like this? Because
all the employees are a lot closer to the big boss than in a traditional corporate setting.
Correct.
Where the hierarchy structure, there's a big difference between the person at the top and then the workers, even the office people, even middle management has a degree of separation between the big boss and them.
A huge degree. There's no responsibility for your actions, and you see if you mess up at the hospital and you cost the company $1,000, it don't matter. On a small business side, you can cost the company $1,000 at the wrong time, and it can really make a big difference. So you see a lot more stress from that. The best way that I can say that we've been able to build an environment that truly helps and gives people the drive and the push to push through that and to grow is incentives. Psychology is a big thing, as you know, going through your courses and whatnot. But, I can produce a happy environment. I can produce an environment with lots of sunlight, give people the opportunity to go out and walk around, all those things. But that doesn't particularly make a strong environment. That doesn't make somebody want to work. All those things that you just gave are things that people want to enjoy, but those don't make people actually go and sit down and work. What we've created in the business is we've created an incentive plan that allows people to sit down and work and make their hourly rate or wage and be able to create more income for themselves. So if they produce on a high level, they create more income for themselves because they did their job well and they did it quickly. And they were allowed to go in and handle other problems that needed to be handled. On the other side of it, training is super important to give them the proper knowledge, tools, and skill set to get into their job and be able to produce and create more income for themselves. And frankly, you've got to be able to give them that. So we pay for different training every single month. We pay for a full... It's a training program that dives into every aspect of business. To where they can even get an understanding of
personal and professional development type growth.
Yes. And we also do a pretty in-depth training program that brings them into our environment and shows them, hey, this is what we expect and this is how you can succeed. Having our entire team on board with that and understanding what's going on, to me, is key. Because if somebody comes on and they see, hey, you know, John out in the field isn't producing and Jenna in the office isn't producing, that takes all of your drive out of you. But when everybody's together, is producing together, you're going to grow into an environment that's extremely strong. And everybody's working together to drive towards a similar goal. Now, company goals are great, but what are their personal goals? If I can help my employees achieve their personal goals, that's when things change. One of my guys, we're in Arizona. So let's face it, there's a lot of immigrants that work here. Some legal, some not. And one of my guys, fantastic guy, he's come in and he's grown through a labor. Now he's running his own crew. He's getting paid really well. And we're helping him get all his final papers and documents together to come live in the United States permanently. And he's bringing his family over. So that's a goal of his. That's one of the goals that I can help him achieve. He came here illegally. He's got his worker's visa, and he's working towards getting his permanent residence.
So that's something that's really unique. And so, there's people who migrate to America for a number of different reasons, right? We are the land of opportunity. The whole world knows us as that. And what you just highlighted was something that I think not a lot of people know or appreciate. And if they do know, maybe they don't appreciate it, at least to the degree that they should, because people want to come here. They want to get these opportunities. They want to work hard. And the way that the system's laid out right now is that it's difficult from start to finish to get everything done, to become a U.S. citizen. But you've taken it upon yourself to help this individual and help them achieve their dream of bringing a family over and being a U.S. citizen in the right way. And that is, as a person who absolutely loves this country, I appreciate that, because we need more people who are willing to help out others in that kind of way.
Absolutely. And more than just that, because that's a huge point in his life that he was looking for. And that was his personal goal. I've got other guys on my crews and in our company that are looking to achieve financial gain. More than just, hey, I make 60 grand a year. They're looking to hit specific goals. We've got people in our office that are looking to hit specific goals. And we're able to sit down with them and say, hey, what are those goals for you? Where are you trying to be at in 5 years? And how can we help you achieve that? If my employees achieve their goals, I achieve mine. And it becomes so much of a bigger picture. And you can look at that and kind of laugh sometimes because everything's a bigger picture, right? But no, it really does become a bigger picture. But it also helps me achieve my goals.
Right. Because when you help the individual grow, as a byproduct of that, they're going to perform better and more. They're going to be more efficient at their job. They're going to enjoy it more because on the personal side of things, they're developing as an individual. They're growing, and it's just going to bleed over into the work. No matter what people say, their personal life and their work life, they do bleed over into each other.
Absolutely.
And it's, we're not robots. We're human. This is,
yep.
We all have our ups and downs. We all have our goals and dreams. And from the sounds of it, Citiscapes is doing a phenomenal job at helping people grow both professionally and personally, but focusing on the personal side. As the business owner, that they're going to give you an ROI that is much, much bigger than what you're putting in.
Correct. And, today's Labor Day. So today being Labor Day, I've got a crew out running today. I've got people working for me today, still out doing their job and doing it because they want to and because there is a goal that they can see and that they're working towards. So more than just me, number one, they love working with me and for me, which is great. I love that. But they have a goal that they're working towards, because who wants to work on a Labor Day? Not many people do. I didn't want to work on a Labor Day, but now I'm thrilled to. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with going out in the morning and making sure that they have what they need and getting up and being in communication with them. Because if my guys are out, I'm out. If I've got people in the office, I'm in the office, whatever that is, whether it's in my truck, literally at a physical location, or on the phone. I'm taking care of business. If I got somebody doing something for me, I'm going to be there with them. But I got guys that are out working on Labor Day weekend because they have a goal. They know what they're going for. And if that means they have to work on a holiday, they do it. And that's what they want to do. I didn't ask them to. They asked me to. I didn't ask one of my gals in the office to work today. She wanted to. She said, hey, I want to take care of this. I have a goal, and I know you can help me make that goal. So I'm going to come in, and now I've got clients that are thrilled because we're going to be finishing their project early. My guys are working there on a Labor Day. Clients are getting communication even throughout the holiday. Now, how many companies are doing that? How many people are sitting there calling you on a Labor Day saying, hey, just letting you know we're going to get stuff taken care of for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of businesses out there that are closed. Small businesses, big corporate, companies, they have, hundreds, if not thousands of employees that are going to work, big box stores and all that. But small businesses, a lot of places will just shut down for holidays.
Right.
And even if they are open, they're going to be minimum manned where there's, only, a couple people that are going to be able to help you out. But, you as the business owner, you have a work phone there
Absolutely.
and ready to answer.
Well, the other side of that too is when you say, oh, that's great about what, but if that, corporate America is very much like that, you're going to be able to get a hold of them. But we're in the construction industry, so which is kind of sets us aside a little different than even most construction shuts down on Labor Day. Even corporate construction, there's nobody working on the job sites today. It's a national holiday. So corporate construction really completely shuts down. Their offices are closed. Everything's closed. 90% of small businesses in construction are closed down. If I gave somebody $60,000 as a deposit to do my job, I would like to know what's going on. You're not going to get that with many other companies. It just isn't going to happen. I know what I do. But if I give somebody a deposit, I know they're not working today. But at least let me know what's going to happen tomorrow. That don't happen. I've worked with companies. I've got a project going at my house right now. I haven't heard from the guy today. It's kind of one of those things. He's like, I gave him a big deposit. I just would like to know, hey, are you going to be out tomorrow? What time? I don't need you to sit there and give me a 30-hour, we're doing X, Y, and Z. Just, hey, what time are you going to be here? That's what we try to provide for our customers. And that's what's going to set us aside much different for our customers. And I know we were talking about the employees and what makes them, and we kind of jumped over again to customer service. But if your employees are happy and they're making money and it's worth it to them to work, it's going to make my customer experience that much better. Because if it's not worth it to work, then you get the attitude that you get when you walk into a Walmart, where they want to fight you on the way out to see your receipt because they got a chip on their shoulder because they ain't making money. They're just not doing, this might be a stepping stone for them to go to the next job, but it's not a place where you want to be. It's a place where you have to be. My employees don't have to be working today. I allow all of them the option to be off. It is a national holiday. You can take the day off. Just
for the fact that they all chose to say, hey, I do want to work today. I do want to get this done because I have my own goals and aspirations. And he said, okay, you just let you know, you don't have to, but you can.
And we appreciate it. Yeah. I appreciate their hard work.
It's great to hear that you're able to create a culture within your organization that all of the employees, it doesn't seem to me as an IO psychology major that they feel like employees. They feel like team members. Would you say that's more accurate?
I would say that's more accurate. We've tried to create a place where more than just an employee, and I guess I'm kind of repeating myself here just in a different way. We've tried to create an environment where what they do pays them directly. So in essence, they control their own paycheck. Through the training process, not so much, but after all that happens, whether they're a part of a team or not, this is going to be a little controversial here because I believe in teams and I believe in everybody working together, but I don't believe that's where it starts. You don't start as a team. You start as an individual who has a higher goal. And when you come in and you work hard, you create a community within yourselves because you're all driving towards goals. So, and you become a team. You're working towards something. You say, hey, this person can help me get there. Let me link up with them. Hey, this person could get me there. Let me link up with them. So their individual goals help them to create a team. I don't believe in creating a team first.
No, and you're on the right path there for with thinking about it or conceptualizing it in the right way, because too many people think of we need to create a team first, and then you can parse out the individuals for what their goals are. First, no, you need to address the individual, and then help let them uncover what their own individual goals are and aspirations, and then create a roadmap for that. And then once the individual is taken care of, then the team builds in an organic way.
Correct.
And that's where I see a lot of organizations, they do it backwards than that. And it doesn't work out too well. And then they keep doing the same thing over and over. And they wonder, why aren't these people working as a team? It's like, well, because you're not addressing the people for whom they are at the core.
Right.
And if you do that, then what comes out of it is organic team building. And that's that's how you get people who are working on a holiday and by their own choice.
Correct. And they're working on it without push from anybody else. They're doing it because they want to. The goal is to end up with a team and people who can lean on each other on their hard days, because as people, there's always hard days, but they can lean on each other and draw strength from each other and see, hey, she's doing good. Let me go over here and let me do my job good. Hey, he's doing good. I want to go over here and do my job well. All because everybody's driven. If you start with a driven attitude, I've always said I can work with anybody who has drive and a goal and zero skill. But I cannot work with anybody who has all the skill in the world and no drive and goal.
Yeah. And there's something with that too, is that the people that say they have a bunch of skills, and if they're not willing to learn and willing to grow, then they tend to have bad attitudes. But the people who say don't have much skill in something, you can teach skills to anyone who is willing to learn and who has an open mind and is willing to work with other people. And that's the thing that, it really separates the, let's say, the wheat from the chaff. That's where people who they have the drive, the intrinsic motivation to better themselves. That's really where it comes from. Is they're not okay with where they're at right now in their point in life. So they want to do something more. And so what comes along with that is the willingness to learn and the willingness to do what it takes to get better. So there's a bunch of little things in there that make a great recipe for, all right, you get a bunch of people like this, and then what you end up creating, so long as you ensure that the individual is taken care of at the individual level, the organic team that comes out of it is something that is both unique, strong, and efficient, because everyone is working both on something for themselves and on something for everyone else.
Absolutely. Having a strong drive myself, I know what it's like to have a drive and have zero skill. And so having that drive, people will leave. And as I myself did, I left 2 companies because I had drive and I didn't have the proper training. And I left until I could find that. and I founded out a company, and then my drive superseded what they could do for me. So I started my own company. My goal as a business owner is to allow the people with drive to have all the training and the skills that they need to succeed. And not all those are skills in landscape. Not everybody needs to know how to dig a trench. Not everybody needs to know how to lay an irrigation line. They also need to understand, what do I need to do financially to hit my goals? Because so many goals in the workplace are financial. There are a few personal goals that are not financial, but so many goals in the workplace are financial. Why would you work without getting financial gain? That's what I'm here to do. I don't want to come into work every day all the time. I'm here for financial gain. That way it will make my personal life that much better. So my goal is to give people the information and the knowledge to not only affect them in the workplace, but affect them in their personal life, such as how to properly do a budget. So many people don't even know how to do a budget. It blows my mind. My parents taught me how to do a budget. I was blessed. So many of my friends and family have no idea, because my cousins have no idea how to do a budget. I sat down with them the other day and talked to them, had no idea how to do a budget. Zero. Didn't understand it. And I'm going, okay, I was blessed, but if we can look at the standard in this world today, so many people aren't getting taught these things. Well, if you're not taught these,
that blows my mind. Like, how do you not? I can't even conceptualize what it means to not know how to. You have a pot of money that you earn, and then you have these responsibilities,
right?
Your bills. How do you not know how to budget out for those?
Well, I think most people understand that you got so much, so you can only spend so much. But credit cards are a thing that has ruined this society. Debt is a thing that has ruined the society as a whole. There is good debt and there's bad debt. And bad debt is what's being advertised all over social media. You see people in boats. They've got a boat. Yeah, it's a $100,000 boat or a $150,000 boat or whatever it is. But they have debt on it. They owe money. So they make a payment every month. And sure, there are a few that can do that and make that payment. But not everybody can. So you see all these things and there's a big want, but a complete misunderstanding of how debt works. And you're just utilized, the way that it's being utilized is for your wants and not as an investment. That's a whole different conversation, but the concept is there. There's so many people that don't know how to budget. There's so many people that don't know how money works. If I can give them the tools inside my company to help them understand how money works. Like, if I put my money in the bank, what does that do for me? Well, you got to have so much in savings for emergency fund, but beyond that, that money in that bank is doing you absolutely nothing. It's just sitting there growing mold. It is decreasing in value. How do I make my money work for me?
Yeah. Thank you, inflation.
Yes. Well, go inflation, right? But
yeah,
you can take that money and make it work for you. You can create passive income. How do I teach my employees that? By providing them with the right training. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. Does most everybody want to learn that from their boss? No. Half the time your boss is an idiot to you. It don't matter who it is. You're like, you don't know what I just did today. Well, the fact of the matter is your boss probably did. He probably just didn't have a lot of sympathy. So the people with drive coming in are where that takes over and like, hey, but at the end of the day, half the time you don't want to sit down and listen to your boss try to explain to you about money. You need to hear it from another mouth and another voice. And so our program that we offer lets people hear it from another voice and gives them the opportunity to learn stuff that will help them in their personal life. I heard a statistic the other day. It said that 90% of all divorces have a relation and have mentioned money issues. And 95% of all arguments in a marriage are money-related issues. If I can help my employees solve their money issues, that takes all that personal and emotional stress off in the business, and that allows me to grow them exponentially.
Yeah, and they say money can't buy you happiness. Let me tell you, money can solve a lot of my problems. But so I'll put this out there real quick. Money in itself is innate. It doesn't do anything by itself.
It's a tool.
It's a tool, yes. And it allows you, it enables you to do that which helps you achieve your goals. And if your goal is to live a certain way, to have certain things, or to be able to, I don't know, buy groceries for your family that are of a certain quality, and not have to worry about, oh, I can buy meat for this week, but not next week. Well, money can help solve that issue.
Absolutely.
And quality of life, there's in quality of life, honestly, is up to the individual. You can
Absolutely.
live very minimalistically, but let's be frank, here in America, the majority of people are not minimalists.
No.
We enjoy, and frankly, I'm not either. I enjoy a lot of material things, but it's, I can also go without at the same time. Do I want to? Not necessarily, but that's not my goals. And, like you're saying, money, if you can solve that problem or that issue, then a lot of people's woes or issues will be ameliorated.
Correct. And if I can help people understand money, not only does that grow them in the business, so it's one thing to get at the end of the year, say, hey, look, I made $100,000. Great, you made $100,000. That's fantastic. I had a guy last year make $170,000. Fantastic. What did you do with that? Did you use that money to grow your life, or did you just go out to the bar and party? Did you go out to the club and waste it all on a table? What did you do? Did you understand what that did for you? If my employees can understand and know what that money did for them and what they were able to make that money do for them, then great. But you can look at the end of the day and say, hey, I made $170,000 and it wasn't enough money. I'm still fighting with my husband. I'm still fighting with my wife. I still am doing all these things. I still have all these bad habits. I still didn't get any money invested. What good does that do? All these companies offer 401ks. Excuse me. They offer 401ks. That's fantastic. Wonderful. You offer a 401k. I'm sorry, but that money ain't going to do anything for you if you don't know how it's working.
Yeah.
You will get to when you're retirement age, you will have probably $300,000 to $500,000 is the average in that 401k and produce you $30,000 to $50,000 a year. Great. Is that how you want to live your retirement life? Have enough money to get by?
And who knows if even by that time, that is enough money to get by.
Right. And you've got to take some of your earned income and take that and invest that. And that's what so many people don't understand or realize. And if I can offer any of my employees anything that will change their life, it's offering them a program that as a driven individual, they want to watch. It's offering them a program that helps them understand their personal finances and make them grow as a personal person, as on a personal level. Anybody with drive is going to want to improve themselves personally and professionally. And professionally is what helps me. That's where you see that. But I will get the professional interest when they improve personally.
Indeed. And
so the psychology of that, which I know that's where we're wrapping a lot of this into, is happy wife, happy life. If my employee's happy, they're happy at the workplace.
Or there's another saying too, happy spouse, happy house.
Exactly.
I just made that up.
Exactly.
So working there's not a single person out there on this planet that if they do not work towards something that is bigger than themselves, some sort of goal that is, in the psychology world, it's called a superordinate goal. And that you work on something, you work hard towards it, and you gain that progress. And even if it's a slow progression towards that goal, you're still moving forward.
Correct.
And you stumble across a roadblock, you stumble across an obstacle. Well, keep going, because there's always a way forward. You may have to pivot. The goal is still there. And that personal growth, that professional growth is still going to get you where you want to be. And your family whoever is in your life is going to appreciate the drive that you have to better yourself.
Absolutely. I think another thing that I've definitely thought about, and it's something that we need to change as a company and improve on, is how often do I talk to my employees about their personal goals? We don't talk often enough. Handling it every 3 months isn't enough. Handling, hey, where have you achieved? No, it's creating a communication. Communication is key. And the work environment, personal life, everywhere. And if I'm able to communicate with my employees, and it doesn't have to be on a deep level, how much money do you have in your account? I'm talking, hey, how's it going? How's your goals? Oh, you're 10% away from your goal. Good job. Let's make that next 10% happen in the next 2 months. Offering a much higher opportunity to talk and go over that stuff more often, I think is going to help everybody in my organization a lot better. As a small company, you see all the flaws in everybody. And knowing that the other people care about who you are and what you're doing as a person is huge. Knowing that, hey, my boss cares about me is huge. Coming from, look, I started Citiscapes about 4 years ago. I went full time. So it's still pretty fresh in my memory how working at these other companies was. It felt like everything I was doing was lining the boss's pocket. And I wasn't making any traction personally. Did I learn a lot? Yes. But no, all those jobs, I wasn't gaining personal traction. I had money in savings. I had a decent truck. I had some nice things. I got to go out to dinner. I got to do some fun stuff. But as a whole, financially, personally, I wasn't creating the life that I wanted. And since I've become goal-oriented and since I've been able to, I drive a brand new truck now. I have a boat sitting in the backyard. I've got a Can-Am in the garage, a UTV. I've got these things that are paid for. I don't have to worry about it. It's not something that I go and say, oh, do I have the money to make this payment next month? No, it's good. I'm covered. These are goals that I wanted to hit. I just bought a new house. Thank God, But I just got a new house. I got an acre lot. It's a newer build. It was built last year. I'm able to hit my goals and go from step to step because I knew what I wanted. But I've only been able to produce that because now my employees are driving and hitting their personal goals. For them to hit their personal goal, they've got to work and create me a certain amount of income. And I've got to work to make sure that they have the means that they need to create that. So all those things that I have now are because of a good environment that I've been able to grow in. I can tell you right now, it took me 3 years to figure out how to build an employee relationship. 3 years.
Well, that's a lot faster than a lot of other organizations. I can tell you that.
3 years was too long. It was me being dumb, let me tell you. 3 years was too long. But here we are.
That's good. The success that you've seen in the business, you're still a small business.
Correct.
And small businesses, again, are, in my belief, the heart of America.
Absolutely.
Because you have these connections that big corporate America cannot attain. Even in organizations like the military, where yes, there is a quote brotherhood or a camaraderie there, it's different in a small business because in other organizations, even if they do build strong bonds, there is a large separation amongst the ranks, amongst the hierarchy of positions. In the small business, you're creating this, there's this more tight-knit connection that you have between all of the teams, the workers, the office members, and you as the boss, as the leader. And you're helping cultivate what I consider is the new American dream, and that is to be able to be financially independent to the degree that you're able to live in the manner that you choose. Years ago, the American dream was to have your own home, a family, white picket fence house. It was a kind of a cookie cutter, type thing. And that's all fine, but we're in a new world now that the American dream is honestly the opportunities that are out there. There's so much more to experience and to develop as, if you choose to have a family, have a family. If you choose to not have a family, don't have a family. Whatever it is that you choose to do so, and do so without the obstruction of restriction.
Right.
That is the American dream.
Correct. Because everybody has a different goal in life.
Exactly.
We're in a world that anybody can achieve whatever goal they want. It doesn't matter what that goal is. Anybody can achieve whatever that is. If you want to drive a Ferrari, if you want to fly in a private jet, if you want to buy a private jet, anybody can achieve those things. I have personal goals that I want to achieve. How do I get there? And how do I create an organization that will allow me to get there? I don't ever believe I ever personally want to get into corporate America. I don't know that that's something ever I personally want to do. I know that I want to have a larger company. I want to scale out across the nation, but I don't want to become corporate America. I want to continue to give people what they need, not all this crazy bullcrap. On probably the biggest thing though, and as we're talking today, the most things that I think about is how can we build a strong community in the business? And as we've been talking, I've been running through all these things. Allowing people to produce on a level high enough for them to get personal gain is the key. That's the key. If they can't gain personally, why would they work? If I can create an environment for personal gain, I've won.
That's great. So, Citiscapes, the place to work when you want to grow as an individual, when you want to grow professionally, and when you want to have a boss that is as invested in you as they are the company. Sounds like a place that I would want to work.
Absolutely. It's where I want to work. Here I am.
So, did you have anything else to add?
Dan, I don't have a lot else to add. I can tell you for the folks that are out there, going day to day, you can achieve your goals. You can grow. You can make your dream become a reality. For myself, I still have dreams. I know that I've got more places to go, but I'm watching that dream become reality. I'm watching it grow in front of me. And for that, I've been super blessed. But I also know that everybody else can too. To all my employees, I'm forever grateful. To all the people that's helped me achieve, not only my employees, but also the people that have taken me under their wing and said, hey, Kendall, let me teach you something. Let me do this. I'm eternally grateful, and I want to be that person to anybody else. But anybody can achieve their goals, and that's what, if any message we got past today, what I'd like the world to know.
That's great. So, real quick, Citiscapes, where are the areas that Citiscapes services?
We service the entire Phoenix metropolitan area, so that's going to be West Valley, Northeast Valley, and Central Phoenix up into the South Phoenix area. We haven't stretched into the East Valley yet, but within the next 6 months, we're going to be working East Valley, Tempe, Mesa, Queen Creek, Apache Junction, etc.
Like Chandler,
yes.
Okay.
Gilbert.
Excellent.
But for the time being, that's where our locations are.
And do you have a social media presence?
We do have a social media presence. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram,
now
Twitter,
LinkedIn now, right?
LinkedIn, yes. And TikTok. so you can follow us on all of those.
The business is new. You're a small business. You're growing. Social media presence is getting out there.
Yes.
And this episode here is the start of hopefully a continued conversation with small businesses. And awesome. I hope to have you on here again and to talk about, one, how the business is going, see the growth in small business, and what is it that Citiscapes is doing for and with the communities.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'd love to be back.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This concludes this episode of Roots of America. Until next time. I don't have an ending head crash. I'll add that in
That's
later.
all. Have a good one.
Yeah.